Hello to the Hack Shack located right here in Los Angeles. My name is Johnny and I support horror. It seems to be an introvert's paradise here, you know, staying in, not being around people. But I do feel bad for the extroverts that are just itching to go do something. I'm kind of an introvert myself, but I just want things to be back to normal too. So hopefully we'll get there soon, horror fam. But until then, let's just continue to stay safe, binge horror movies, stay away from the human race. Wow. Is this heaven? So following my social distancing, self-isolation theme here on YouTube, I thought it'd be fun to revisit the Unfriended film series. 2 horror films from Blumhouse that take place entirely on someone's laptop. I had a lot of fun watching these again, so let's talk about it, horror fam. Unfriended is a horror mystery thriller film from 2014. This movie follows 6 teenagers who decide one night to have a group Skype session on their computers just to have a nice relaxing hangout. After a while, a 7th person joins this group Skype session. The problem is nobody knows who it is, and the little picture icon thing is blank. Upon further investigation, Blair, our main character, who's a laptop we are staring at the whole time, figures out that the person's name is Billy227. No big deal, right? Well, it is when Billy227's account belongs to one Laura Barnes, an ex-classmate and ex-friend of Blair's, who killed herself by shooting her face off 1 year prior. This night from hell only gets worse when Laura starts Facebook messaging Blair with demands and tells her that she wants to play a game with all of the teens. As they try to kick Laura out of the chat group before things get dark, they are forced to expose their skeletons to one another in a little game called Never Have I Ever. It's during this game we get to see exactly what kind of people these teens are. Okay, so things I liked about Unfriended. I really like the fact that this entire movie takes place on Blair's laptop screen. You would think that scenario would get very boring after a while, but they executed it so well, and I think one reason why it worked is because they made it feel so authentic. Blair's laptop that we're staring at the whole time has, jumbled pictures on her desktop, all unorganized on top of one another, multiple tabs open, just how an average person's desktop would look like. And I have to say, for a movie that takes place entirely on someone's laptop screen, they did a fairly good job at building some tension. Like when it's taking forever for a file to be downloaded that could be a big piece to the puzzle, or when Laura, this entity, is making our teens expose all of their secrets to one another. She only gives them 10 seconds to come clean, or else it could mean death for one of them. That probably was my favorite part. A ghost girl getting revenge on these teens that may or may not have caused her to kill herself. There was definitely an underlying message about cyberbullying and the consequences one can face if you choose to go down that road. However, I would say that even the game Never Have I Ever that they all played revealed a lot and was a lot of fun. It did get a little annoying when the characters would just freak out and shout over one another. It felt like one of those talking heads news segments where everyone is just shouting and disagreeing with one another. Instead of old people arguing politics, it's a hormonal teen screaming into their webcam like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" Such a stupid... I apologize, horror fam. I've been in quarantine way too long. But definitely check this movie out. Unfriended will always be a guilty pleasure of mine, and I say for maximum enjoyment, watch on your laptop. The experience is much better. It's just a lot of fun. Okay, now let's move on to the sequel, Unfriended Dark Web from 2018. After finding a laptop and hacking into it, Matthias logs on to meet 5 of his friends on Skype. The original plan was to meet up at someone's house for their weekly board game night, but they were all feeling a little bit lazy, so they decided to do it via video. It's not too long after they start playing that Matthias finds a mysterious folder on his desktop that's filled with graphic snuff films. As Matthias shares his screen with everyone to show his friends, he gets an anonymous message from someone saying that nobody should disconnect and nobody should call the police, and if they do, they all will die. So this fun game night turns into a terrifying experience for everyone as they try to elude the person or persons that are after them. Again, this entire film takes place on our main character's laptop screen. The big difference here is that our main antagonist is not paranormal like in Unfriended. The villains are real people from the dark web out to get our group of 20-somethings. Now, this movie has more layers than Unfriended. I would say that dark web has more mystery in it. While most everything is laid out in front of you in Unfriended, I would say dark web builds the story a lot better. In Unfriended, you get a sense that these teens are just kind of doomed from the beginning because how can you defeat a ghost that's totally in control? In dark web, our characters have more chances and little things that they can do to keep everyone alive. For example, at one point, our group of friends figure out when the villain is online watching them and when he's offline. At times, when they see the villain is offline, they try to come up with a plan to defeat it. In Unfriended, the terrible teens, that I like to call them, sabotage one another, and it's just every man or woman for themselves. In dark web, our friends work together more to try and defeat these evil hackers. Remember the movie Speed with Keanu Reeves and Dennis Hopper? There's a scene where the FBI puts the security cam footage of the bus on a loop so Jack can get all the people off the bus, all while Dennis Hopper's character is watching this thinking it's a live feed and thinks he's still in control. It's trickery like that reminds me of how these friends try to do things to save each other's lives. Speaking of manipulating technology, that's one scary way our villains are able to off some of our characters. In Unfriended, it's a paranormal entity that's causing the death, and when something is paranormal, you can pretty much say that anything goes. A ghost or demon can kill someone how they want, when they want, most of the time. It's a little bit easy. In dark web, it's more tricky to kill our characters, especially when the villains aren't in close proximity to any of them. Again, it's the manipulation of technology used in a sinister and unique way that makes the deaths of some of our characters more satisfying. What surprised me is that these hackers in dark web proved to be just as dangerous as an omnipresent entity that lived in Unfriended. Flesh and blood with the power of technology reigns supreme over a ghost in this series. I also prefer the ending of dark web more than in Unfriended. The reveal is more eye-opening than in the first film, and dark web just paints a bigger picture that we get to see in the last few minutes of the film. While Unfriended is a guilty pleasure of mine, like I said earlier, I still really like it. I think that the better movie here is Unfriended Dark Web. As of right now, both movies are available on HBO Go to stream. So if you have that service, I really recommend watching both of these movies. Even if you have to rent these, I say do it, because it could be a fun little double feature you could watch, on your laptop, in your bed or something with the lights off. And I'll leave you with that, horror fam. I just wanted to say thanks again for coming by my channel and checking out my review of the Unfriended film series. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you do so now, and go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this video, or if you've seen Unfriended or Dark Web, let me know what you thought about the movies. And let's be friends to the end, people. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @TheHorrorHack. Once again, my name is Johnny. Keep supporting horror, and this has been one hack of a show.